We can't answer questions till I gotta link it to my people.
To your sheeple?
To my Discord peoples.
Oh yeah, are you gonna make a new Discord or?
I'm either that's why I did the vote because I was like I want to do that again because I know there was one person who actually messaged me because I forgot to edit my Patreon thing to say that there's not a Discord reward anymore.
Yeah.
And I know one person they were looking forward to it, so I was like, oh, I should probably put that back in. So I'm just trying to decide if it's gonna be in my server or a separate thing.
Oh, maybe you should put in a text thing. Sorry, is if there's background noise, Michelle's husband's playing a game.
Oh, well, I think people will get it. It's fine. When is there never not background noise? Hello? Hello? Oh god, is this square fucking up again? Oh no. Michie died. Michie died already.
Hello?
Hello? Are you okay?
Oh, I'm fine. It was Discord.
Oh.
Discord, don't be rude.
Discord, no.
That's rude.
How dare.
In JPEG, there we go. And my thumbnail's done. Just tell me when you're live.
Oh, I'm live.
Oh, okay. I'm just an idiot then.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I was putting the link in the hello people. Hello, how are you?
Go to the tweets of you.
Hello. Here for
well, guys. If you hear random voices in the background on my end, it's my hubbins playing a game.
The hubbins. When is it ever not the hubbins? It's either the hubbins or the cat son.
This is true. Well, someday in a few years, I'll have my own office, and then it won't be an issue. But that's okay. That's something really funny because some people were like, "Oh, so you're gonna be there for like a year, right?" I'm like, I want to be here at least 2 years. After all the stress, I'm just like, no, I want to be lived in for a bit, then I'll move.
Gunmoon, how dare you?
Did Gunmoon buy you a coffee?
They gave me a super chat just so they could say "Cowboy goes moo."
God, fucking.
Thank you, Gunmoon. That was very important. I would be traumatized to have missed that.
It was an accident.
It's my favorite though. Cowboy goes moo.
Cowboy goes moo. I still do not know why my brain was like, yeah, that makes sense. Say that.
Cowboy goes moo.
Where is my goddamn thumbnail? Did I not save it?
It's very important. I'm glad to know my super chat works. That's very good to know. But yeah, well, I was serious saying something before, but this doesn't matter now.
We good. I'm just editing my little thumbnail videos, and then I'll look at the chat.
Yeah, I'm looking at the chat now, so I guess people can start asking stuff. I guess I don't know what else.
Yeah. What questions do you guys wanna know?
Oh, ASMR. ASMR with Michie.
You gotta love the asthma.
Michie Moochie.
I do have one thing we could talk about if no one gets quick.
Yeah.
How are you both today? I'm good. I didn't sleep well last night, but I has a good day.
I'm good. I'm enjoying my break.
Yeah, he gets a week off because he a child. Oh no, he a chill day.
Yes.
No, what am I saying? No, you're legal. You're not a chill day.
I'm legal now. I can go to adult jail and I can vote. So. But yeah, what was the topic?
So I was watching a video earlier today with Anna, and it was a video about this artist, Emily Artful, and she was talking about how she had some drama with a popular YouTube artist. She didn't say who it was, but I lost my goddamn mind on how like rude this person was to her.
Oh no.
Well, because she was saying stuff like apparently the person like tried to be her friend. But you can see the video on her channel. It's I think it's titled something like "My Problem with a Popular YouTuber." But she doesn't like give a name or anything, so it's not like throwing shade. But
not a call out.
Yeah, it's not a call out. She was talking about how she's like a lot of YouTube communities are very gatekeepy, and how this person pretty much tried to become her friend to keep tabs on her over like actually be her friend.
Oh.
And then at one point, the person was really rude and like brought up her subscriber count to her. At the end, says something like, because she got sponsored by Skillshare. By the way, not sponsored, but she got sponsored by Skillshare. And so this person, and this is after Emily like ended their friendship, emailed her and was like, "Hey, did you reach out to Skillshare? Because you have a lot less subscribers than me." And she's like, "Wow, no, they contacted me."
Oh my god.
And I'm sitting here like, shit, I've had sponsorships and I'm not even at like 100K.
Oh yeah, I've had sponsorships. I've had one. I actually got approached by someone else to do a sponsorship, but I said no just because I don't really want to sponsor something that I am not gonna use. So, you know.
Was it like one of those like munchie boxes?
No, it wasn't. It was another amino.
Okay.
But the person, it was because I think it was because they found my roleplay pet peeves video. So
oh my god! No, I had that too.
Yeah, and they were like, "Hey, like sponsor roleplay amino with like, because you make roleplay content." I'm like, no, I just made one video. I don't have any plans to make any other roleplay related videos. So
I was totally okay with doing this amino sponsorship, but funny thing, and I have the emails to prove it, so I'm not throwing shade. I asked him how much I'd be getting paid for it because I mean I'm gonna be real, I don't really use amino. I have one, and I check it out every now and then, but I don't use it often. And Holly had told me some things about amino, and so the lady's like, "Oh, okay, we can pay you like $50." And I'm like, "Oh fuck, I was expecting like 10. That's fine."
Yeah,
because it's like because it was on any video, and I was like, "Oh, okay, well, it's in my policy and my contract to get paid first. So let me hear back, and we'll do this." And I've not gotten anything back since I said I have to be paid first.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten the one amino thing I did for sponsorship. I got paid after I did it, so. Mm-hmm. You know,
well, the only reason I brought that up was because I guess amino fucked over a lot of art YouTubers recently.
Yeah. Well, I think, yeah. Well, I mean,
because like they screwed over like Bailey J and Holly and a lot of other people. Yeah. To where I remember Bailey, even in one of her like more recent videos, said something like, "Sorry for the weird cut here, but there was a sponsorship that didn't go through," and I was like, "Oh, that sucks."
Mm. Well, like, yeah, and I know like. I think the one thing with amino too is I think, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of that stuff is done by the people who participate in the amino. So I'm not dissing anyone for this, but like I think a lot of the people who run it aren't exactly necessarily professionals. You know?
Oh, or are you saying that it's more like they contact people and then amino contacts them kind of thing?
Yeah, well, I don't think it's like members of amino who do. I think it's that because whenever it's like sponsoring a specific amino, I mean like pretty much all aminos are fan made stuff.
Oh, I did not know that.
Well, yeah, like that's the reason why like you and I have an amino.
Oh,
because they're made like anyone can technically make an amino. So I mean I don't know how PR works with that. Obviously, I'm not assuming I do, but I would not be surprised if the people who do PR stuff are people who helped create specific aminos.
Oh, right. Oh, hold on real quick. Honey!
What?
Are you doing anything on Friday?
That's good.
Because Lana and Brad want to come over and hang out and give us our presents. On Friday around like 6.
I was thinking of being at my parents. I wanted to work on car stuff, but suppose it doesn't matter.
I mean... You wanna? So wait, do you wanna like? Would you leave like Friday morning kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell him. Sorry, I saw a text from a friend. Sorry, chat. I know I'm really cool.
All right. Yeah. So I think that's about ends that subject. So after our ramblings, hello, chat.
Michie Mochi. Can I say that? I don't care. Nickname me whatever you want. Go Cray.
No.
Go Cray.
Like I have a new class.
Oh well, thank you, Julia. I love you so much.
And so
yeah, sorry we weren't paying attention to the chat. We were in Ramble World.
Yeah.
As we do.
I just could not believe how rude that was.
Yeah.
Oh no. Here was the funny thing. Okay, the whole point of my ramble rant on it.
Oh right.
Because apparently Emily was contacted and made fun of because the artist in question that gave beef with her pretty much said, "Oh yeah, and you're stealing my aesthetic."
Oh, of course.
But that's the first time I've heard stolen aesthetic. I've heard like stolen art style. I've heard stolen
steal
coloring.
an aesthetic. That's even. Oh, you muted yourself. She muted herself. Hang on.
Oh, I was listening because Cody's talking really loud in the background.
Right,
so
yeah.
I was doing.
Yeah, like you can't. That's even more ridiculous than like people who say like you stole my color palette. That's not even a specific color palette.
Oh, I know, and I do not understand.
But an aesthetic is like a totally other different level of like you can't steal that.
Yes, I can do Friday. I ain't going anywhere.
You're stealing my aesthetic. That's like me saying that somebody who gave their character like a morning color aesthetic is stealing from Dawn, because it's not like I pulled those colors directly off of a picture.
Morgan.
Oh, what?
Come on. We totally know that you totally stole reincarnation from me for the Horsemen, because you know I'm the only person that has like ever.
The only person who does reincarnation in their stories.
Yeah. I hate people sometimes.
I know, I do too. I swear a lot of YouTube artists are trying to gatekeep their community. I mean, it's not all of them, but definitely a portion of them.
If you guys want to come over sooner, you can. Jesus Christ, I have had like no one contact me all day pretty much, except for like you and stuff. And then it's like, I sit here, I Stram, and now everybody wants to contact me. And I'm like, boy.
Oh, goodness.
Other
than me, consistently there at all times.
I swear, a lot of YouTube artists are trying to gatekeep the art community. They really are. Like, but it's not just, here's the thing, it's not just artists. Every community gatekeeps.
Oh, there's always, no matter where you go, someone's going to try and gatekeep it.
Mm-hmm. And like, I just, it sounds stupid, but it's like so exhausting because it's always over such minute shit.
I know.
And I'm sitting here like, do you really not have a life to do this stuff?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I've seen like, I actually even, because I'd like to think I know the difference between something that's being intentionally like copied to a T and things that are very just generally inspired. And I will say this, it is all about the little things. Because if it's like a lot of little details that didn't need to be together or put together in the same thing, you know, that's something else. But, you know.
If a spade looks like a spade, it's a fucking spade.
Yeah.
It's a super chill stream today. Yup.
Yep.
And the only reason we're not doing like a crack, I mean, you can answer crack questions.
Oh yeah, you can ask them if you wish.
Yeah, the reason why we're not
very open to talk about our children. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, it's just because we're not doing the like Crackland timeline part 2 is because I am tired. Yeah. I'm fine doing the stream and I'm having fun. I'm like it sounds like a douche thing, but that's gonna require a lot of thinking because we're gonna have to go back again.
Super chilly stream.
So are we? Say we need an extension for...
say we need an extension for the witch... I think they're talking about the witch contest. Or I think Pyth is talking about the witch contest.
I totally...
I can do it for like a month or whatever if you need to, Pyth. That's totally fine.
You can do it.
Just let me know what you need.
Are we on the 3rd generation of
Yes.
Technically, yes. But they're like babies.
Oh yeah, they're I think the... Shoot, hang on. I need to pull up my ages. Hang on. I think the oldest one we have isn't even... they might be 10. Hang on.
I don't think Eric's 10. Is Eric 10? No,
Eric is not. No, Aditi is 11.
Aditi's 11.
Yeah, that's what I have. And I think she's the oldest of the next ones, I think.
No, Axis is.
Oh, that's right.
No, Axis...
Wait, no, Axis... Well... No,
you're right.
Aditi's the oldest. Axis is 10.
Yeah, Axis is right under her. That's what it was. It was Aditi.
I know because I had to have Bella freak out about that. So
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, so that's how old our generation 3 is. Our youngest of the second generation are all like 15.
Yeah, what about opinion questions? Yeah, sure, shoot. What's your opinion?
We'll ramble about our opinions. We'll ramble about everything.
Oh wait, I feel like I have to say this, and I know it sounds very tiresome, but all of the opinions formed in this stream have come from personal experiences, personal research, and life expectancy.
Experience.
Well, yes. And expectancy, because who knows anymore. Yeah, so PSA.
I'll have you know my life expectancy isn't that long. Oh goodness. That's a joke, everybody. That's a joke. Don't take that seriously. I'm not dying anytime soon, or I don't plan to.
What novel will you write next after you're done with Marked? Well, here's the thing about Marked. So Marked is a huge project. Tetsu's story, I've decided I'm going to make 4 books. So the more and more I think about it, I'm either going to have one really, really fat one, and it's not going to match the others, and I don't want to have to do that. So it's going to be 4. And then I have Ringmaster's story, I have Sam's story, and I think there's one more I want to do. Oh yeah, and if I want to, which I'm sure people are going to want, I could go in depth more when the trio becomes adults, because at the end of Tetsu's story, there's still teenagers. Yeah, they're still teenagers. I mean, they're like 18, 19, but they're still technically teenagers. So I could do more with them. Let's see. Sorry for that. So I might do another Ticks and Turns book, because I do have like other stories in that universe, but they don't really they kind of coincide, but not really, if you know what I'm saying. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you don't have to read the first Ticks and Turns one to get into the second one, if I ever do the second one. But I do have an idea for an all new one. I've told them about this, of actually doing like a kids illustrated book. And it would have to do with a knight looking for a witch.
I know, I'm all down for that one. Yeah,
but that one would actually be like a kid's book, and it would actually involve like, I think the oldest I would make them is like no, they definitely wouldn't even be preteens. They'd be kids. Yeah, so it's a kid's book.
Cute kids book. Okay, hang on. I know there's other questions after.
Can I legally marry Jackson? Pyth wants to know.
I mean,
technically Pyth is a child. You got to remember this. Pyth is 14.
This is true. Jackson is 8. That might be a little legal.
Zodiac, can I ask a question from my character I'm making? Eye color question. Okay, well, we're not really doing Daniel Bryant, not to be rude, but that's more of like when we're doing like a character review thing. Because like that would be a really long, in-depth. Well, like,
just based on what you say, I'd say that depends on like what they wear. I don't know like what their character is, like what they are, whether they're human or if they're based on anything genetically realistic or whatever. So I don't think will be much help just in a stream format.
Okay, for questions, either at me or Zodiac, and put question in all caps first so we can see it, because some of them is blended into the chat. But one I did get was, what are your opinions on the new She-Ra if you've seen it? I haven't watched it yet. I'm gonna give it a chance because I never watched the original, so like I have no bias.
I have not watched it. Chances are, just knowing me, I probably won't. But I'll say, just from what I've seen of it, it doesn't look bad, and I think the animation is amazing, and I actually really like a lot of the character design. So, you know, shoot me down if you want the people who will stand by the reboot. I don't want to get into the drama on all that, but anyway.
Question, Zodiac Bro. Hi, how long have you been drawing?
Oh, God. I mean, okay. What I always say is that I've been drawing like my whole life, because I've just, ever since I was young, I like to draw.
Oh, God!
What?
Things nasty as shit. Jesus Christ.
But
sorry. I just breathed. Oh, God.
Anyway, yeah, so I've been drawing technically my whole life, but I really got more serious about drawing and improving drawing in like middle school. So.
Oh, I gotta burn something. This is really bad.
Okay,
Jesus.
go do that. I got this.
Sorry, go.
Okay. Question: are any of the children in Crackland raised by less than 2 parents or more than 2 parents, basically unconventional families, other than Angel, who had 7 parents, obviously?
It is.
Yes.
Who?
Oh, a lot of them. Cassie.
Oh, I'm thinking of the newest generation.
In the new. No. Well, no, I don't. I think they just mean all of them.
I mean, technically Tessa's gonna be when she shows up, but
Cassie.
She's not born yet.
Yeah, Tessa definitely. Who else? I mean, technically, like
Morgan technically.
Yeah, Morgan. I mean, Nios, Axis, and Naya technically.
Yeah, they all have.
It's unconventional.
They have a very unconventional family.
It's a beautiful family, but it's unconventional to shit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I feel like there's more than that, but
let's see.
I mean, technically Bella.
Technically Kai.
Yeah.
I know there's someone else that's gonna bother me if I don't.
Or Dimitri, technically, because
Dimitri and Kai would count.
Yeah, because that one's just weird, just because it's like a just because like Siren's not his mother figure, but Kai's his father figure. So there we go.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably more that I'm forgetting.
Yeah, let's see. Writing question. Any tips for writing steampunk? Because I've made a steampunk baby. Okay, so the big thing on steampunk that a lot of people seem to forget, steampunk is if we stuck to steam-powered items instead of going on with, not evolution, with advancements.
Technological advancements.
Yeah, so technically, and that's something that kind of always bothered me with a lot of steampunk stuff, is it's actually, steampunk is supposed to be this time now, but if everything was made with steam-powered ingenuity. So there'd be TVs, there'd be phones, there would be computers.
See, I'm just the person where I don't like thinking about technological stuff that much, so I'm just like, yeah, I'll just go with the basic bitch aesthetic.
Yeah, so just, I mean, you could do that too. But steampunk is usually like a future, but okay. BioShock Infinite, that entire game is steampunk technically.
Yeah.
So, BioShock Infinite, watch a Let's Play. It's pretty good for like just how they get the mechanics and everything to work, even though it's like in an old-timey setting.
Yeah, and so, by the way, if we miss any questions, you're free to ask them again. Just don't like spam them 5 seconds apart. Oh gosh. There's so many. Oh dear. Michie died again. Hang on. Question. So I'm writing a family tree of 20 plus, and I want to make them all unique. So any advice? I mean, again, that depends like what kind of story you're writing. I would just say if you feel like there are 2 characters that are similar, figure out a way to make one of them split off and have a little more distinction from another character. But yeah, that would depend on a lot of things.
Jesus Christ! Hello. Sorry, my Discord fucking froze on me again.
It's okay.
Did you answer another question while I was in limbo?
It was again one of those ones that's like depends.
Okay. Question: what is your favorite type of cookie? Fucking chocolate chunk, not chocolate chip. Chocolate chunk cookies. My favorite.
I just like cookies that are nice and warm.
Question: any tips on handling a magic-based world? Okay, so the hard part... No, this is actually an honest question.
No, I know.
You have to make the magic not be a MacGuffin.
Yes, definitely.
Because even J.K. Rowling fucks herself in the foot a lot of the time in her writing. It's why after the 3rd book, they had to destroy the Time Turner. Because they're like, wait, you have a device that just goes back in time? Just go back in time and fix this. And that's why they were like, oh no, that we had to get rid of that because it's way too powerful. And you could have overly powered things, but it needs to not be story breaking. Like that was something we were actually talking about in a role play recently. Was we're like, we have 2 MacGuffins now. We have Cassandra and we have Gabriel.
Cassandra wasn't even supposed to be a MacGuffin. It just happened.
It just became one. I know. And so
same with Gabe, but
I know. So that's why it's one of those things where it's like, okay, we have to find a way. Well, Gabe has an excuse. Gabe is going through adolescence right now, so like he's not as
plus like now he's become self-aware, so he's now struggles to do things without thinking about them.
Yeah, so he is still just as powerful as before, but now he can't think about it. But now that he has an adult mind, he's like, no, I need to think. Wait,
he doesn't have the 5-year-old mind that's just like, well, if you want that to happen, just make it happen.
Dude, like that shit so much.
And then Cassandra's thing, I mean, technically her limit is that she will do anything in the world for mages specifically.
Specifically mages.
Nobody else. Just mages.
So if Cassie got kidnapped, she'd be like, that's nice.
It's just like, well, you can handle it. Like,
go handle the tree.
You have enough other mages you can ask for this.
Go handle the tree nymph. She's an elf. It's the same thing. that's when the racism is gonna start.
Oh gosh, I love Cassandra too much.
I know. Who's your guys' favorite artist? I don't have one. I have way too many I like.
I have a lot of artists I like for different reasons. So,
I mean, I guess the most famous artist would be like Walt Disney.
Yeah.
If I had to pick like a really, really, really famous one, Walt Disney and Matt Groening.
Yeah.
But
oh, there's so many questions.
I am not fighting something myself, so I am not able to run.
Oh my god, fucking Discord, are you serious right now?
Oh, is Discord doing it again? Oh, okay, I'm gonna go to the bottom just so everyone knows. So if I missed yours, you're free to ask again. Sorry. What's your question? What's your 2 favorite ways of writing? Ooh. I would say I love, let's see.
Hi.
Hello, hi. Okay, so my computer is completely like fucking up right now. Yes, I know the application's not responding.
Oh,
yes,
it's
please
having
end the
an
process. I have no idea why, but literally everything is like crashing right now.
Yeah.
Discord, YouTube, everything. But I'm on my phone. That's fine.
Well,
so
there we go.
I can still talk while my computer's resetting.
Yeah.
Guys, if just hopefully you don't mind me using cell phone audio.
Here, we have a good question though.
Okay, what's the question?
What's our favorite two ways of writing?
What do you mean?
Like, that's just what the question is. What's your favorite 2 ways? Like, what 2 different ways of writing do you like? I guess like different,
like styles.
I guess writing styles. Yeah, probably.
Okay. Oh, hold on. Okay, I think my computer's coming back. 1 minute.
Yeah. I would say mine. That's hard. I would say I like writing that makes fun of itself. Personally, like that's what kind of writing that I really like. It's why I like. This body isn't big enough for the both of us.
Am I back?
I really hope there's a sequel to that. Anyway, but yeah, I like writing that makes fun of itself and things like that. And I also really like.
Morgan, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, you weren't saying anything. I had to make sure.
Oh, sorry. I was answering the question. And my other one, probably. Oh God. I like writing that doesn't follow just one character's point of view. I like writing that has like a few different main characters and stuff like that because I think it's interesting to see how the perspective and the story changes and stuff.
For me, I think my favorite kind, and this is going to sound so egotistical, but usually I can like tell how a story's going to go or end, and so when I'm actually proven wrong and it makes sense, they're like my favorite movie. They're like my favorite movies and books.
Yeah.
Happened. Like there was The Ables by Jeremy Scott. I mean, I kind of gave it a little bit away because there's a twist in it, but like I was actually being like, oh, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But, let's see. Do y'all have any tips on writing horror stories? I'm starting on And I completely lost since I'm pushing myself out of my comfort zone. Okay, when you're writing a horror story, this is one where you definitely need to look into other horror stories to see how they're structured.
Yeah. That's just a general thing with anything you do. I totally understand if you think this is too controversial, but I read somewhere that gender bend was transphobic, and I wanted to ask if that was a genuine thing.
Pardon? Are fucking stupid.
Is that a thing? Because that's stupid.
Jesus Christ, people are so fucking stupid.
When has that been transphobic?
Morgan.
I don't even care.
Morgan.
I meant white spray.
Yes,
you can't talk. You can't talk. Remember, you're not trans. You're a dude.
Oh, of course. But oh god. Okay, I don't even care if this is controversial because I've never heard of this before. But I'm gonna be a trans person, and I'm gonna say I don't find how that's offensive, and I mean I'm open to hear how other people would find it offensive, but I, as a trans person, don't find that transphobic in any way.
Like, I'm gonna be real. The first thing that comes to mind, and I don't know if you're thinking about this, is the Dream Daddy drama, where since there is a canonically trans character, but as someone who also played the game, there's not really many hints that this character is trans. There's nothing wrong with them being trans. I'm not saying you can't be trans, but the artist drew the trans character with titties, and people lost their goddamn mind because they were like, if you're doing a gender bend, then she shouldn't have titties.
How do you know they ain't fake titties? Excuse me.
And that's what I was saying, and I'm like, yeah, what? That trans people can't get surgeries to fix.
I guess that's the only way I could see that being a thing, I guess. But, like, even then, I don't find it transphobic. I mean, I personally, if I were to gender bend a trans character, I would make them trans in the opposite way. Because
I think I have a good example of this, which is also controversial, but I don't fucking care anymore. So a lot of people ask the question, and I know we've talked about this before, but it's like, are traps gay? And I'm like, yes, because a trap isn't a trans person. And you brought it up perfectly before I could say it. You were like, but if you call a trans person a trap, then you're being transphobic.
Yeah. Precisely. It's not transphobic as a thing on its own, but you shouldn't call a trans person a trap because they're not a trap. So you're calling them something they're not.
Yeah, but like Lust very much loves his penis.
Yes.
He is very effeminate, and he does like to trap people.
Yeah, very much. He finds great enjoyment.
Tell them he's got a wing dang doodle until they're gonna fuck, and then he's like, by the way, I got a pee in.
Yeah,
Does that matter?
Yeah, the person who asked that, by the way, they said their first follow-up was, this was from Tumblr, so I didn't trust it, and I figured I'd ask you guys since you tend to be intelligent individuals. So
I mean, it's okay. I've heard that wearing rich clothes around poor people is bullying now.
Their second follow-up was they didn't even mean gender brand of trans characters, just gender bending in general is transphobic, which I don't understand in the slightest.
Because people have been doing it for years. It's not.
Well, I mean, you could make the argument that just because people have been doing it for a long time doesn't mean it's right, but even then, hi, I'm trans, and I think gender bending characters is a fun and entertaining idea to go along with. So
I mean, we've done it to poor Kai like 3 times.
Yeah. Or we've done it 2 times, possibly a third time eventually.
Eventually, maybe.
Depends how many babies.
Why can't you tell us the Sin's real names? Their real names are important.
Yeah, well, like, okay, some of them are more important than others, but I don't want people to know which ones are important, so I'm just keeping them all a secret. Especially because, like, just the few that I'll mention that are important. One of them, let's just say there are only 2 or 3 living people that actually, about like 3 people.
3, right?
I think so, yeah. 3 living people who know what their real name is, so it's kind of a big deal. And it's also actually kind of funny because there may or may not be a Crackland kid named after them, but I'm not going to say who. Which is really, that'll be great whenever, if that comes out 10 years later, I don't know. But yeah, and then the other, like, another one, he, they, whatever.
I feel like the only ones that would be okay would be like Wrath and...
Well, don't say it, because then they'll know which ones the secret ones are.
I wasn't. I was just going to say Wrath or Sloth, or I feel like the only ones who don't really matter.
Yeah.
That's all I was going to say. I was going to just say those two. I know there's more, but...
It's fine. But yeah, then there's another one who's, their name, they don't want anyone to know their name, so I want to keep that one.
Just for personal issues?
Yeah, well, yeah, because let's just say they want their name to die, but anyway.
They're a good bean. Okay, question. Opinion on people being against... against others changing the gender like me. I want to be a boy, non-binary as much as I can be since I'm born a girl. Is there anything wrong with it in your opinion? No?
Hi, I'm trans. I don't see anything wrong with that.
I've got nothing wrong with, like...
Well, I guess...
Don't be an... okay, I should specify. Don't be an asshole.
You don't... Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
I will say this. Their question wasn't, are we okay with it? It's like, how do we feel about people who aren't okay with it?
How do we feel about people who aren't okay with it?
Yeah.
I feel like, I feel like as long as you're not an asshole, they should respect you. I'll be real. There's some stuff that I personally think is a little kind of out there with more of the gender stuff that's going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
But just because I have this personal opinion, because of experiences I've had with bad people, when I meet someone who's non-binary or agender or whatever, if they're like, oh, hey, I use these pronouns, I'll be like, oh, okay, I'm bad, I'm sorry. Like, oh, perfect example. Okay, at San Japan, our table mate, fucking Vexingly Yours, I thought she was a girl. And then we became friends and stuff, and the whole con I was using she, her pronouns. And then I saw, when I came home and saw her Twitter and stuff, she was like, oh yeah, I'm non-binary, please use they, them. And I apologized. I'm like, oh, I had no idea, I'm so sorry. She's like, oh, I don't really tell people, it's no big deal, but thank you for apologizing. Because, I didn't know. Now, I have also had people that have told me to my face, if I don't use their pronouns, they're going to beat me beat me into the ground. And I'm like, wow, okay.
Coming from a trans person, I'm going to say, if you're going to be aggressive about people using your pronouns, you're kind of asking for them to be disrespectful to you. I'm just saying.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not.
But now,
it doesn't give them a right to be, but you're asking for it.
Yeah, but now here's the same rhetoric. If, like Zodiac, he's trans. I've noticed. Well, I mean, I didn't know he was trans. I actually thought you were.
Yeah.
I'll say I didn't know you were trans. But I knew you were a guy. So I'll leave it like that because I don't want to misconstrue.
Yeah.
So when I found out, I was just like, oh, okay, whatever, no big deal.
On the internet, I'm pretty good with just.
Yeah, but if I had known that, and then when I met him, I was like, hey, I know you feel this way. But
oh yeah,
I'm not going to use that. Now, since Morgan's been really chill and polite and cool, that would make me an asshole. Yeah. Don't be an asshole.
Yeah, is not being a dick so hard to ask. Yeah,
but here's the thing too. If someone explains why back and it upsets you, then you just don't need that person in your life. That's how I feel.
Yeah. Yeah, and just also, I'd also want to say this, just for any people out there, just understand that if people accidentally use the wrong pronoun, that doesn't immediately mean they're being transphobic, because I see some people who act that way, and it makes me mad.
This actually happened to a friend of mine, okay? This happened to a friend of mine at their place of work, all right? So my friend, I will call them... Okay, so Billy works at a pizza joint. I'm not going to say what pizza joint, but they work at a very popular pizza joint that delivers pizza. He was on call with a new hire. This was a kid who is right out of high school, never worked a job before in their life, and it was like their third day working there.
Mm-hmm.
And this presumably male, and by that I mean they had a full beard, they had piercings, tattoos, they dressed very masculine. The new hire was like, "Hello, sir, how can I help you?" And that man, or no, I'm wrong, that person, a kid behind the counter, and was screaming at them, and they got it on Billy got it on camera, and was screaming at them that they were transphobic because this person was trans, and that they shouldn't just assume gender, even though this person was presenting extremely masculine.
Mm-hmm.
And
we should say that doesn't mean that masculine people can't be feminine or like females.
That's
whatever.
What I'm saying. Yes, that's not. That's not. Yeah,
yeah.
That's not what I'm saying. But they then insisted on screaming at this child, because this was a child, they were a high schooler, and belittled them, wrote their name down, threatened to sue this pizza establishment for transphobia, and the teenager quit because if I was their age, and then this same person called corporate in the store in front of Billy claiming all of this, and then a manager had to get involved, and a lot of bullshit happened. Mm-hmm. And then the person now has a card that gives them free pizza for life.
And as a trans person, do not like that.
And as the poor high schooler, he's probably never going to work again. Because I'm going to be real, if that was me, and I got screamed at by an adult stranger, doesn't matter the gender.
Oh, yeah.
Mistake. A lot of issues. And that is something I have issues with. And because of that, Billy now has issues with non-binary people because of instances like that.
And that's just a thing. If like people mess up, like now I'm not saying that everybody's like me, of course, and I don't expect everyone to be like me. Like I'm someone who, to me, a lot of my gender stuff is a me thing. It's about me, like understanding who I am and stuff like that. So to me, I don't really get all that up in arms when people in real life like call me a she or whatever, because to me it just, unless they're doing it intentionally, it doesn't really bother me, you know. But at the same time, I understand that like not everyone's like that, and so just don't throw a fit if somebody slips up on a word, essentially, you know?
Especially when it was clearly an accident.
Yeah, it's fine to correct them, but just don't do it in an angry, like, how dare you sort of way, because that's just kind of ridiculous.
Children are in high school. Yes.
Yes.
Unless you are 18 in America.
And mentally you're not an adult till 25, so...
Again, but if now you fully transitioned and someone is an asshole to you...
Oh, yeah. If someone's doing it intentionally, you have full right to be, like, upset. And
angry and yell back in that case.
Yeah, in my unprofessional opinion, be sassy with them. But, you know, if someone's obviously not doing it intentionally... a lot of
stuff behind me, it back, which fucking pisses me off. So that's why I don't try and fucking move it too often.
I'm proud to have started a Zodiac and Michie ramble at TM. You're very welcome.
Yeah, we should answer other questions.
Smart questions, please.
Please. That was certainly a tangent. It's off topic, but do you like Pokemon? If so, are you excited for the movies and the Let's Go Pikachu Eevee games?
Oh, I'm so ready for Detective Pikachu.
Me too. I'm so ready. I'm so...
Jakes!
Everything about me is so ready.
What are y'all's favorite time age for roleplays and stories? I really like playing kids. It's like really bad. I love playing little kids.
It's cute, and it's like you don't have to think about it. Yeah. You can be cute and dumb.
Or there's I, where you're technically a teenager. Or there's I,
where she's just 5 at any age.
You're technically a teenager. You're just a little slow.
Yeah, just a little, but it's okay because you're cute. Zodiac, if you were a meme, what would you be?
I honestly feel like you're the knife cat meme.
I probably am, honestly.
Like, wholeheartedly, I feel like that's you.
This probably that's me in a lot of stuff. That was definitely me. Whatever I accidentally well, not entirely accidentally, but when I catfished you and we revealed that.
Exactly. I feel like I'm the heavy breathing cat meme. I feel like that is just me on a spiritual level.
Oh god.
Ever have one character who is so fabulously gay at the same time they totally know it and flaunt it?
Oh god.
All I can think of is Lust, but he's not technically gay.
Technically, he's just like, hey, I'm. If you're legal, I'm down. Like,
some exceptions. If I watched you grow up, I'm not tapping that.
That's a little too weird.
I will go to many, many lows. That is not one of them.
I'm definitely not. I'm definitely not a conventional guy. But there's some things that I'm just no.
I mean, again, it's like, hey, I'm not having sex with you. I'm having sex with someone who looks exactly like you.
But see, in that case, it wasn't. It wasn't Lust who was not wanting to have sex with that person. It was the other person who was like, no.
Okay. Question: what's your favorite plot device?
Oh shit! Well, like, well, see, these are the issues where, like, for some reason, my brain shuts off and I don't know what a plot device is.
Can you explain a little bit more in depth on plot devices? Just because, my mind's going a lot of places.
Like, I know that, like, a plot device would be something that, like, is used that you know is going to progress the story, like, and it's obvious. Like, somebody, like, drops a specific object in a room and they're like, oh my god, this thing has solved the case.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah.
What's a good plot lead of a cultist story arc? Oh, okay. Well, first of all, the biggest problem that a lot of people, which Morgan's openly said I'm really good at doing, which makes me very happy. I'm very good at making. I'm very good at writing realistic villains.
Yeah.
I mean, they're nuts, and obviously, magic doesn't exist in that context. But when you're writing any sort of cult lemming kind of story, the cult leader needs to be extremely charismatic, extremely understanding, but also
you want to know what the perfect example of this was?
Thanos, yeah. Well, Grindelwald and Thanos, they really are.
Yeah, they're both like really good examples. Okay, I will. When I saw when I went and saw that, whenever there was that whole scene where Grindelwald was doing his speech to everybody, I was like, they wrote him so charismatically, thank God.
Which was good, because, I mean, we've never had a story about that, because I know you're not a Harry Potter tard, right. But they did talk about how, Grindelwald was, the Voldemort before Voldemort showed up.
Yeah.
And he also kind of, he actually paved the way for a lot of Voldemort's followers to follow him.
Yeah, and... Well, I will say this too, because with stuff like that, it's really easy to make them the bad guy, where it's they could have easily had that speech be like, yes, we are great and we should kill all humans. But instead, his whole thing was to make it sound like a really great thing, where it's we're protecting the world from war and havoc, and we shouldn't kill the Muggles. Some people must die on the way, yes, but we're not murderers here, and that's and to me I was like, yes, this is such a well-written speech.
It really is.
Yes, because that is the biggest
let's see. When I saw Lost, I'm like, oh, it's a girl. Then I saw he was a dude, and I'm like, oh crap, I apologize. I feel like Lust wouldn't care.
Oh, no, he wouldn't care.
He's extremely effeminate.
That's why I would fight anyone who tries to correct anybody else on what they think Lust is, because,
8:30 swimsuit.
He's clearly a dude! It's and then it's
excuse me, how dare you call him a girl? You realize that Lust would go along with this until the person figured it out themselves, right?
Okay, so what's terrible? I watched a movie at Anna's house the other night.
Yeah.
I really hate saying this, but it's true. Have you ever seen The Fifth Element?
No.
Okay, it's a really old sci-fi movie, but it's really funny. There's a character in it called Ruby.
Yeah.
Lust was like % more extra. That would have been him.
Oh no.
It's like bad. Like we talked about how like he's a toned down Jeffree Star. If like Lust was like really eccentric and in your face, that would have been Ruby in the movie. It's really bad.
That's great. Yeah, I love Lust. I just died whenever you told me that one story of the guy you met getting food, who was just like, I am whatever you want me to be, and I was just like,
I loved it. I was like, I wanted to laugh so hard.
See, I would have felt bad because I would have had to explain that I laughed because it made me think of my own character, which is like super embarrassing.
Question, not including coloring, what's your favorite thing to draw? Like sceneries, hands, faces, hair. I love drawing hair.
Hair and eyes.
Yeah, I love drawing expressionful eyes.
Yes, and yeah.
Question, if someone said they killed one person, your family, one person, your family, what would you do, please? That someone...
What?
Okay, are you saying if somebody killed a member of your family but's a really good friend, what would you do? Because, the police?
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of missing context here.
What are your favorite seasons? Fall and winter.
I like fall, and I also like spring, to be honest. It might be because I live in Texas.
I live in Texas. We don't get spring out here.
I live in Texas. Our summers are just hot. Nothing else. Mm-hmm. And then fall might exist sometimes, but it's like a weird limbo between it's too hot and it's too cold, and then a lot of rain. And then winter is something else, that's for sure. And it's just, there's no snow, but it's just really cold. And
huge.
And then spring is probably the one nice time.
Excuse me. Question. Favorite couple you've written for Ticks and Turns? And favorite couple you've written involving your mages? Okay, well, Ticks and Turns is... Spoiler. The couple I don't like in the story... I really can't talk about Ticks and Turns in that sense, because that is kind of a really important plot point. But there's a douchebag couple in Ticks and Turns and a nice couple in Ticks and Turns, so I'll say that. My favorite couple involving my mages would... Tatsus and Tens. Only because I really like how their relationship blossoms. Of them like have issues. A lot of people don't. Well, you and like Cody know. A lot of people don't know Tetsu's actually got a lot of issues.
Yes.
The background, yeah. Other than that, close second would be Ringmaster and Blair.
Yeah.
I'd probably go with Alador and Carlia. Don't really got anybody, and she's kind of in the canon. She kind of loses someone she cares about, but she kind of gets over it eventually. And the more and more I think about it, I think I'm just gonna make a of Noel to give Tybalt, because I really do feel like his story does need a relationship.
My small boy heart is excited.
I know, but because the reason why is I'm just like, to be this huge hopeless romantic, and you like all these things, and you're very, very sweet.
It's just, how could you not give a hopeless romantic a love arc?
Terrible, terrible shit happens to you. And I did think about it, like how they could meet, and I was like, oh, wouldn't it be funny? Ow, fucking bite my mic. Wouldn't it be funny if like she was an army medic on accident? Like she didn't know like who he was, and she was just like helping him out. And then she kind of like figures it out, and then she's like, wait, he didn't try to kill me. I wonder why that is. Aren't they evil?
my heart.
I feel really bad because I also feel like I would make her like a nun. I know it sounds so bad, but it just seems like character and stuff I'd have to fiddle with.
Yeah.
To make sense, I really feel like she'd be a nun.
I can see that though. So.
And then let's see. Hold on. Question. Oh yeah, I already asked that. Question: have you guys ever met your doppelganger? I have heard. Okay,
I have so many questions.
I actually had my cousin text me. They're like, "Oh my god, were you at a Starbucks in Fullerton?" And I'm like, "No, I've been in Rancho the whole day." And they're like, "What the fuck? I swear to God, I saw you in a Starbucks." I'm like, "No, not me."
Yeah, I've from what I know, like genetically speaking, there's about like 7 or 8 people that look exactly like you in the world.
Wait, really?
Oh yeah, genetically speaking, everyone has about like 7 or 8 people that just look like almost exactly the same to them. I mean, hell, there was a whole like murder case that was centered around the fact that there were like 3 dudes who all looked identical.
Oh shit!
And like they weren't related, they didn't know each other, but like a dude got falsely committed for a crime he got falsely committed for like 2 or 3 different crimes that weren't committed by just one other guy, but 2 other guys.
Yep.
It was something else. Like.
Question: what are common aspects in stories that typically lose your interest? Okay. I literally saw this today. I really, really, really hate forced. I'm not kidding. If I see it come so out of left field and it has nothing to do with the story, and it's buzzwords for buzzwords' sake, and they don't come back. You know this. I was live texting you when this shit was going on.
Oh, yes.
and I'm like, I am losing so much interest so fast. Came out of left field. It was the gay popping in and saying, "I'm the one gay character," and then like going back in the closet for the rest of the show, and you're like, why was that necessary? And then they're like, "No, see, there's the gay representation. It was right there." And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my like the second I see it, I literally just kind of roll my eyes. But what's a common aspect in stories that when you see you lose interest?
I mean, I know an easy one I can say is just when it feels like it's one of those. I want to say it's like the thing we ranted about before when there's like those like young adult stories where the girl's the main character and it always seems to be the same sort of story and plot where like they're a tomboy but they're not a tomboy, and then there's a guy with them that was is gonna be the love interest.
Wait, you mean the I'm not like other girls trope? Yeah.
Yes. Well, it's like those kind of stories really turn me off very fast.
There's so many questions.
I know there's more, like so many. Oh god, I know there's other ones. I'm just trying to think. Like
love triangle that makes no sense.
Or it's like, what's a good one?
Oh, okay. I hate in rom-coms the fight.
Yeah.
No, I'm wrong. I know a bigger one because I watched this with a movie with Cody recently, and it's when so it was in this movie. Guy is in a serious relationship with a girl. They didn't say how long they were dating, but they were in a serious relationship. And then this like psychotic guy hacks the main guy's Facebook and deletes the relationship, calls her a bitch on her Facebook wall, and then the guy hacked the main guy's computer and posted up a naked photo of her. And so Fred sees all this and then goes to the boyfriend, the main guy, and is crying and is like, "I don't know what I did to do this to you," and literally a scene that's just it's just so out of character for him. And I turned to Cody because he was there watching it, and I'm like, if I saw that, I would have known someone hacked your phone.
Yeah,
so long that I'm the only excuse for it being oh my god, why would you do that? As if you hadn't been dating that long.
Yeah, and yeah, I definitely, I know one thing that just ticks me off in stories is when it's something that can be so easily resolved, but for some reason the character, it's I understand if the character.
Are you saying the entire Connie and Steven fighting arc was useless?
That kind of stuff. Now, I will say this. I will say this. I would defend that arc in saying that I know there are a lot of people that wouldn't admit it, but there are a lot of people that in real life would be that kind of stupid in like an awkward relationship thing where you just don't talk to each other. But that's besides. But I mean, like in the sort of rom-coms where it's like a big misunderstanding and it's two characters that like they're not immature. They're shown to be smart. Like, you know, they're not immature kids. But yet the one downfall is that they just don't communicate with each other. Or like, you know what I can't stand? It's whenever the guy, like someone's trying to explain something and the other character, even though this doesn't seem to be something in their character, just doesn't even let them talk and they just leave.
Yes, I hate that.
That could have been solved so easily if the other person just hadn't left for some reason.
You mean the anime? I'm gonna just run out the room and I'm not gonna go after them. I'm just gonna let them run.
Yeah. Yeah, that kind of stuff is really irritating.
Okay, question for both of you. Favorite guilty pleasure movie and why?
Oh, shit. I mean, I probably have a few. I'm somebody who will take entertainment value out of a lot of things just because I'm that kind of person.
I love Suicide Squad.
I do too.
So, like, that's one. I love the Final Destination movies. They make me laugh. And the Saw movies.
For me, I know Chicken Little.
Hey, Chicken Little is a treasure. Okay?
I know.
It's so bad.
Well, there's so many people who are like, it's so bad. I'm like, I don't know. I love it, okay? Everyone can fight me.
On that same note, I love Sky High.
Oh, God. Oh, what else is there? I know there's so many movies.
So many.
It's like, there's like, God, this is such a bad movie, but I love it, and I can't stop watching it for some reason.
Oh my God, okay, I have one, and it's really bad. Okay, this is a German horror comedy, and it's called, because they have an English dub of it, it's a live-action comedy. It's an adult comedy, so I'm going to say that before I say anything, but it's called Night of the Living Dorks, and it's a zombie horror comedy where 3 best friends get in a car crash and just become zombies. Hilarious because they start like rotting and trying to figure out how to fix what's happening to them without like eating people. So they get like staple guns and staple parts of them onto each other. And there's this really funny scene where one of the guys is like the hot girl room and they're getting kind of freaky. And this scene literally happens and I lost my mind. His testicle rots off and like you see it just roll out of his pants.
God.
And he freaks out and she's like, what's wrong? He's like, I just need something. And so he gets it and he gets to his friend who's also a zombie. This is a legit scene. Who's also a zombie and he's like, I need you to staple this back on. And his friend's like, is that one of your? He's like, yes. And he's like, those can fall off. And so what they do is they go to a bathroom to like staple his nut back on. And you see the actual like out of skin testicle, so it doesn't look that gross. You don't really see a dick or anything. But they get the staple gun and they're in the bathroom and he's like stapling it on. And someone at the party opens the door and it looks like they're giving each other head. And then like the hot girl comes and it's like, this is why you wouldn't sleep with me. And the other guy's like, no, I'm not gay. And it's just it's a terrible movie. You can get it for like $3 on Amazon. Night of the Living Dorks is a treasure.
Oh man.
So, but it is down to a T, a terrible fucking movie.
Beautiful.
Question: most toxic relationships you both have.
What? I didn't hear the last part of the question.
Sorry. Most toxic relationships you both have. In a character context, like which characters have the most?
Because I was gonna say, if it's in a real context, I haven't been in any relationship, so.
I know one, but I don't want to talk about that. But in story-wise, I have the grade A bitch Magpie. You got a few, but can you say any?
Well, okay, because I know I have one, but that one wasn't. I know I have one. It wasn't an official relationship though. But it was a toxic relationship, just not romantic necessarily.
It was more one-sided.
Very one-sided.
If it's the one,
I mean, it was a friendship that was toxic, by far. and might have ended in murder. But anyway, what else? I feel like I know that, okay, well, technically in Looniverse, Jackson and Solar don't date, but, like, Solar's whole thing is that he manipulates Jackson by pretending he's a cute girl, so...
He a flirt?
Oh, yeah, he disguises himself as a girl and is just, like, Jackson's gullible and technically nobody knows what Solar looks like, so, technically. Mm-hmm. Anyone who would say it, at least. But, so...
Technically...
That one's...
Yeah.
So technically that one's not a toxic relationship because they never officially get together, I don't think, unless I decide to write it that differently, but I guess that kind of counts. Yeah.
Dawn and Ida, but they also understand each other. Like, they're not good for each other, but they also understand each other. They're a weird, like...
It's a weird gray area.
Weird gray.
It's not like... Neither of them are emotionally abusing one another. It's just a weird, complicated relationship.
Yeah. Let's see. There's so many. I'm so sorry. Have you seen Pan's Labyrinth? I have. Have you seen Pan's Labyrinth?
No. There's so many
question is it bad? One of my favorite things I've written in abusive relationship that started in high school. What you like reading. A lot of people like reading abusive relationships because it usually has a happy ending. At least for me, that's more of a preference thing.
Yeah. I like reading about any relationships, romantic or not, just because I find it as a fascinating thing.
How do you feel about almost every story needing a romantic subplot? I think it's stupid.
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous.
I don't think that, one, I think girls and boys can be friends.
Yes.
That, there's no, like, romantic or sexual energy there. I think you can just have friends that are different genders. It shouldn't matter. Mm-hmm. But I feel like if the story warrants for it, there should be it there.
Yeah.
But if it's something like... I think the one where it weirds me out the most is when it's, like, little kids. It's not done in a cutie way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, oh, this thing is happening. And then it's like, oh... Happy friends, because we're different. We're boy and girl. We have to get together. And I'm like... They're kids. So, yeah. Let's see.
There's so many questions. Help. Should we just go to the bottom at this point?
Yeah, I think we'll go to the bottom. Sorry if we missed. There's just so many.
You're free to ask again, but there's so many questions.
There's a Crackland one. I just saw it close to the bottom. Crackland, who is most likely to get a call from their kid at 3 a.m, asking them to bail them out of jail? Dawn, Angel, 3.
Well, no, they're asking who would get a call from their kid.
Oh, I think almost every parent.
Yeah, probably, just for different reasons. Like, Dawn's parents would probably get a call because Dawn's a bit of a mess. But Nida's parents would get a call because she probably got dragged into it because of Dawn. But that's besides the point.
This sounds like a bad thing.
You know who could? You know who totally would? Cassie Navarez. Because Gino's a little mischievous.
Mm-hmm. Did any of the Sins commit suicide?
Not the current ones, no. But
the current round.
I'm sure there has been a past Sin that
there has to have been one in the past.
There definitely has to. Definitely, probably like an envy or two, probably.
I actually feel like it would be more like a pride, honestly.
Yeah. What, like any of them, honestly.
Let's see. How did you feel about situations where a boy is forced into dressing or looking like a girl? I don't think anyone should be forced into doing anything, even if you're kids. Like, okay, real talk, quick tangent. I did not know this was a thing, because my parents never did this, but I'm seeing it more and more of don't tell your children that they have to hug people because it implies that they owe people stuff. And I'm like, wait, parents make their kids hug people?
Yeah.
My parents never did, so random thing on that. So okay, question about people who look like Jesus Christ, guys. My cousin's just like, oh my god, by the way, I saw that person again that looks like you. I'm like, okay. What's your opinion on writers forcing LGBT into a story, but it not having any purpose in the relation to the story? Then I don't see the point.
Yeah, I think that you should just write a good story, and if LGBT happens, LGBT happens.
I mean, okay, I guess I could say if it's something where, like, LGBT parents, and it came up in a natural way, that's fine.
Yeah, and I'm definitely someone who believes you can have, like, LGBT things exist and not have to address it all the time. Like, you know, just, for example, just have characters that happen to be a gay couple without having to point it out profusely.
Mm-hmm.
Because I really hate it when stories do that, where it's like, we didn't need to mention that they were gay. We can see that they're gay, and there's no point to point it out, so why don't we just let them be gay and be done with it? Like, you know.
Perfect example of Crackland is Lazuria and Nettie, where it's just people are like, oh yeah, they live together and they raise a kid and they share a bed and they're just bachelorettes. It's fine.
Just really good friends. But that's
really
that's
good.
Homophobic. But anyway.
Yeah. But
just in stories where it's like, you know, I don't feel like if you're doing a story like this in the modern day and you just want some characters just to happen to be in a gay couple, then you don't need to point it out necessarily, you know? Because otherwise it feels like virtue signaling, you know? Like, look, again, they're gay. The story doesn't need you to acknowledge they're gay, but look, they're gay. Couldn't just have a normal story and not have to point it out with a red sign, but that's besides the point, you know.
Oh, it's my favorite character trait. Trans.
Oh, God.
Do you guys have any advice on writing a character that is a psychopath and make it realistic? If you want it realistic, do a lot of research.
Research. Always.
And, like, don't Google psychopath. Like, actually watch documentaries on psychopaths.
Google ND is useful to know the basics of it, but you should definitely, like, look at more stuff beyond that.
Feel about people who together but just end up being friends. You expect them to be together, but they don't. State your opinion if need be. If they don't end up together, they're not just friends.
Not again, fucking son of a bitch.
Oh.
Did you die?
Assaulted by like 30 of these fuckers now. Exactly what I was trying not to have happen.
Oh, I'm sorry, honey. I have a duo that are soulmates, but I don't want them to be romantic. That to be a subplot, or my story, do you think it's friends without them being shipped? Actually, we did talk about this with Kai and Morgan.
Yeah.
So, do you wanna?
Oh, okay. Well, we have a thing because we have two characters, and
it hasn't happened yet, but we talked about it in depth to make it happen.
Where something would happen where they basically their souls end up getting tied together, essentially. So that hypothetically, obviously I have no idea how far this roleplay is gonna go, but like if one of them, if they were to die, that in every life they have, they'll always be soulmates, but that doesn't mean necessarily romantically. It means that they could be together like brother and sister, or like a mother to a child, or whatever, in whatever,
or best friends.
So it doesn't have to always be romantic, but they're always together in some way.
So they would never be apart.
But like, to answer your question, just like, could you write them as friends without them being shipped? Yes, you definitely could.
And don't be surprised if people do ship them,
because people will ship them because that's how people do. But you can totally write them just being friends. It's totally possible. I mean, that's technically a thing that comes up in 7 Cents and a Baby. I have a pair of best friends that everyone's like, you're totally dating, and they're like, we're really not. We can't tell you why, but we're really not. Like,
follow up on the other one. What parents would rush to the police station to bail him out, and which ones would just wait until the morning?
See, I just thought of Gino again, and I thought Averis would be just like, just let him sit and think about it for a bit, and Cassie's like, no!
I feel like that would also be the sins with Angel. It would be like, oh, by the way, I'm in jail. That's nice, and then just hang up the phone.
Well, see, some of them would. I'm sure, like, Gluttony would be like, no, we gotta go get her!
I feel like they'd be back. It would be just like, she's married, and she got her own kids. She's at home now.
Oh, goodness.
Are any of the current sins lynched? Current ones? No.
I mean, unless you mean lynched in the... Well, yeah. Well, okay. Hang on, wait. I'm thinking.
None of them are hung from what you told me.
No, I know, but I'm thinking because they could mean lynched in the general, just killed in an executory manner.
Oh!
Because
okay,
lynched doesn't always mean hanging, necessarily.
That's the case. Technically?
Technically, one of them kind of was, but just not...
That fits that mold.
Not publicly, but by one very vengeful person. It wasn't Wrath, I should say that, but, you know. So technically, yes, kind of. You know.
Yeah. In a weird technicality.
Yeah.
Question for both. Any tips on what not to do when writing a trans character?
Don't make their personality trans.
Write them as a person?
Yeah, just write them as any other character.
Same goes for gay, women, children. Make them a person.
Yeah.
If they're literally not a person, if they're like an alien or a ghost or something, you can get away with it, but...
Just write them like a person who happens to be trans.
Do you have any tips for comic screenwriting for anime? This will be you. I've never done that stuff.
Where's tips? Do you have tips for comics and or screenwriting for animations? Well, I don't. If you mean like screenwriting as in like writing out what you're gonna do for an animation, that just have to be up to you. You have to just figure out what you're doing and make sure you plan it out. For comics, I would say for comics is just make sure you, like, if you're doing a serious comic here, don't take 7 Cents and a Baby as the epitome of what you're supposed to do for a comic, because it's really not. But
exactly, 7 Cents and a Baby is a comedy with dramatic moments. Almost all of my stories
I did it without
dramedies.
any planning or anything. I just went in on a whim. So you shouldn't do that. Like, for example, you should have your character designs planned out before you start drawing your characters, or your character's hair is going to change 5 times.
I was going to say, in other words, Greed's hair.
Yes. Yeah, so make sure you have, like, your characters planned out and you have at least most of an idea of what you want to do. I understand, like me, if I was to make another comic, I would have a lot of situations where I would leave a lot of things kind of open to flow, just because that to me makes it a little bit more engaging, and it helps me figure out things that, because sometimes while I'm doing it, I can figure out how to make it work without, while sitting back, I can't. But you should plan out as much as you can, and don't post anything until you at least have a decent chunk of it done. At least.
I mean, now you have an ending.
Yes, I do. I do indeed. I have an end goal. I don't know how we're going to get to the end goal, but it's going to happen, and I do have a plot device, Cat, so that's important.
Question, what was the saddest moment in Crackland, and what was the funniest?
Oh, God. I can tell you what the saddest moment was recently, at the very least, because it was so hard for me to do because I kept fucking crying. But this is besides the point.
Go ahead.
Okay. Recently, the saddest moment. We've had a lot of sad moments, but recently the saddest one was we had our new character Cassandra. She got to be reunited with her 5-year-old daughter that died like centuries ago. And got to like hold her for the first time. in that period of time, and it was really sad, and my ass had to keep trying to get in her head so I could write her properly, and it was really hard because I kept crying.
Yeah. It was a happy sad.
Oh, it was happy sad for sure, but it's still like...
Got to, like, actually say goodbye, but still hurt, because it's like... Her daughter didn't really know she was dead, so that's another reason why it kind of hurt, because she was just like, oh...
I'm like, oh no, Cassandra wouldn't tell her daughter she was dead.
Well, she was a kid, too, so I feel like she wouldn't get it either way.
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah, definitely. It was so cute.
The
Funniest one, God, there's...
Recently, and it's only because my playlist made me die laughing. Sweet moment of Ida and Dawn getting back together. They weren't broken up, but Alador found out that his daughter was literally screwing around behind his back. Oh, fuck. Hello?
Hello? Huh?
Hold on. Oh. I'm still here, but my USB just decided to stop working. What the hell?
Well.
Okay, Okay, mouse, are you back? Okay, hello, am I back?
Hello? Hello.
Okay, that was fucking weird.
Yeah,
anyway, so, and it was just like, it was gonna be like a sweet moment, and then I got in my car.
It was sweet for a moment.
And then the second I put my iPod in to listen to music while I was pulling out of my parking spot, Something in Your Mouth by Nickelback started playing, and I literally started laughing. Because I pictured being like, oh, this sweet moment happened. And right afterwards, she would just be like, well, it's been a while.
Well, because the whole thing was that originally the rule was, okay, now you can't even be around each other unless somebody is there watching you.
You can't. It's because they were having sex behind her parents' back.
Yeah, and that made them a little upset, especially Dawn, because she's like, I'm not going to talk about my issues in front of other people. So, like, what's the point? And Alador and Carlia had, like, a conversation with Dawn's parents, but they had a chat, and so they're like, okay, you know what? We'll let you, like, we can let you be alone together, but you can't have sex for a month. And so they got left alone again to talk. And so then it was cute. And then it ended with a joke of like, well, they said we can't have sex, but they didn't say we couldn't do other things.
And so, because I told him to look up the song, and I waited. And there was like a little pause, and I was like, fuck, and I'm like, there it is.
It's like, there it is.
Question for Zodiac. If I hugged both Wrath and Lust at the same time, how would they react?
I mean, Lust wouldn't really care. He's chill with that. He's chill with physical contact, obviously. Wrath would just kind of tell you, give him some personal space because you're a random stranger hugging him. So, you know.
I feel like he wouldn't really be mad. He'd be like, "Can I help you?"
Yeah, like you want something? Like,
I owe you money because I'm dead.
Because I have none of that. If I had any, one of my other roommates probably stole it. So, you know.
What do you listen to work?
YouTube usually.
YouTube, music, audiobooks.
Yeah, although I've noticed recently, and I don't know why this is, it feels like I've started to get like a shorter attention span with videos. I used to be able to like put on an hour-long thing and be fine, but then now I've started like jumping around a lot, and I don't know why that is.
But honestly, me too.
I don't know.
Or I put it at like 2x speed.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's still fine because it's still stuff in the background, but yeah. And I'll still listen to hour-long shit, so... Like, I will watch, like, full episodes of To Catch a Predator on YouTube, but, you know.
Oh my god, okay. To Catch a Predator is, like, amazing.
I know, I love it. It's a good... It's
terrible.
I'm so sad that it's... Like, I know, the stuff that happens, it's, like, it's fascinating to listen to, I'll say that, too. But I also... I'm so sad it's not a thing anymore.
Oh, it's kind of not a thing anymore because a fucked up thing happened.
Oh no, I know. Yeah, trust me.
Which totally makes sense.
Oh yeah, it's just, well, it's unfortunate too because it wasn't really their fault. It was the person's fault. It was, they are not responsible for what the guy did, and I'm gonna be honest, he shouldn't have been doing that shit in the first place, but anyway. It is what it is, and it's long and gone, so.
Either of you have an evil undead character, and if you can tell me how do they become undead and or what? Okay, so you're saying undead, so you mean like a vampire or something?
Ghost, whatever, yeah. I mean...
Fuck you. And you.
Technically? I mean, I have a character that can't die. Does that count?
I mean, I have one that was reincarnated. I mean, I've got to do it in the canon, and I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I thought about it, and I'm like, if I can find a way to write Cassandra in, that could be a reason to bring back the old sins, where it would make sense.
Could, yeah.
So I might end up, and I realize I just need to figure out how to write her in there, like
write her in where it would make sense.
Yeah, well, like write her in where she'd actually work, and flow with the story. But yeah, I realized that if she was there, she could solve a lot of issues that I don't know how I'm gonna get to. So,
I'm gonna type something to you real quick, and I don't know if I can say it out loud.
Sure, go ahead. But yeah, so I mean, I could find a way. I'm determined. Yes. I mean, yeah, that's possible. I mean, I know what happened.
I know I can't bring up the spoiler with that character.
Yeah, well, the thing is, too, that's technically. I mean, that definitely could happen. It just, what would actually be kind of funny about that actually, is that would have to happen after they meet the other mage masters. Because that's technically how they meet the mage masters. Is because that happens. Right. Mm-hmm. Because X, Y, and Z magic. But yeah. God, I cannot wait because they're gonna meet Anthony first. It's gonna be my favorite thing.
I love Stiletto Daddy.
He's gonna just fuck with Wrath, and it's gonna be hilarious. Okay, for me.
It's gonna be fun to draw though, because you can do your reality bending magic now.
Exactly, yeah. Which is gonna be. I'm gonna have to just make sure I can write in a way where it makes sense and it just doesn't confuse people.
So see, me being me, something you could do that could be really funny is you can have him worthwhile, but you can have him like break the comic.
Oh yeah, I'm sure
bending reality.
Have that happen.
Where like he kind of like moves his hands or something, and like a black panel line like shoots out and hits the floor or something.
He'd probably do that, to be honest.
Right, and they would be like, "Whoa, where'd this line come from?"
It's just like, the fuck.
What's Greed's nationality?
I mean, okay.
It sounds weird. I always pictured him as like Egyptian.
That's kind of like how it is, I think. Like either just something either Egyptian or Middle Eastern kind of.
That's what I was thinking, like Egyptian or Arabic or something.
But I mean, because technically, although I make the joke that like that Envy is the grumpy Asian lady, but technically, with how my world is set up, they wouldn't call them like that those kind of races just because they don't have those places. So
that's like me. I'm like, how do I say this without it being racist? Because I gotta think of a way to call it something.
That's why with my like big fantasy story, I decided like, okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make I'm technically gonna make my own races, so it's not just like, yeah, these are the Asian people, but they're not Asian.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly.
So I just have the closest thing I have is I just have some characters with monolith eyes. But anyway.
Let's see. Cassandra could be brought into the stories apart from the sins after they've met the mages, and it's just shenanigans. Yeah, kind of. Well, I mean,
all of Seven Sins and a Baby is shenanigans that occasionally breaks into a serious story.
See,
so.
I feel bad because I feel like if she did show up, sins wouldn't be a thing anymore.
Oh, good. I mean,
would like. I just feel like she'd be like, okay, you're just gonna not exist anymore. Bye-bye.
well, like, the thing is, though, too, is that Cassandra's whole thing is that she doesn't want to interject unless she needs to, and she doesn't want to interject unless it involves her mages directly. So...
And specifically, her mages.
Yeah, well, like, mages that... Well, because the Sins aren't technically mages, so, like, you know, as far as she's concerned, like, I don't care, and, well... In my world, as it stands, the Sins couldn't harm anyone that wasn't a human or not a mage. So, you know, as it stands, so it would only be after that specific spoiler event happened that she'd be like, "Oh, yeah, okay, I'll go do that." Yeah, and even then, she doesn't just kill people. She's not that kind of evil. So.
Here's one that's good. Zodiac, question. Is there someone you made who's a Dragon King?
Wait, what?
Technically, it says right here, who's a Draco King. I don't remember if there is or not, but something. So, technically, there's 3. Like, 2 of them run one kingdom, but they're not leaders. They're leaders by marriage. And the other one... is my character, Crackland. This one, I love this one. Have there been any weddings in Crackland? And if so, have there been wedding crashers? And yes. The only wedding crashers.
The first wedding we had in Crackland
was
crashing very hard.
We can't talk about it. Other than that, we had a bunch of like chill little weddings after that.
Oh yeah, all of the weddings afterwards so far have been totally fine.
Oh, but Angel did wear a garnet dress for her wedding.
I need to draw her in that, honestly.
Yeah.
Just draw her in a garnet dress. I just like that Blair was just like, what? How do I? Like, what is this?
Here's a good one. Zodiac. Out of Michelle's characters, which are the most fun to draw, and vice versa?
Oh, is that to me?
That's to you and me. Like, so from my characters, who do you love drawing the most? And then for me, out of your characters, who do I love drawing the most?
Oh, so it's to I'm sorry, I'm listening also.
Okay. Out of...
No,
you go
She's
first.
Downstairs, so I'm listening if it's addressed to me or not.
It's to both of us.
Okay, no, alright, so wait. Start over. Sorry.
Okay, it's okay. This is for both of us.
Okay.
So, out of my characters, who do you love drawing the most?
Oh, shit.
Pick one.
Shit. Okay, well, I've drawn quite a few of your characters. I gotta think about this, because I've also gotta remember which one I have to, because I have to just remember which ones I've drawn and which ones I've just been, I like their design. So, let me think.
Let's go with ones we've actually drawn.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm trying to remember. So I don't get mixed up. Hang on, I'm gonna go look at my folder of gift art to you.
It's okay. I can honestly say I probably love drawing Greed and Anthony the most.
Okay, I'd say maybe I'm biased because I've had to draw on Siren so many times, but I like drawing Siren a lot.
It's her hair.
Yes.
We should say Crackland version because her normal version don't look like that.
Oh yeah, well I've drawn her like normal version too, which that one's fun to do too. But
yeah, that was the cuddle collab.
But you know, for my animatic, I've had to draw her like 3 or 4 times.
Sometimes, yeah.
You know, I might be biased, but I also do like drawing Tetsu.
It's her hair. Tetsu's apple hair has always been fun.
It is fun to do.
It's why I draw her so much. Not only is she like one of my favorites, because
just the way I do hair, it's fun to interpret her hair.
Question: do you two think of OC's as headcanons? I mean, I don't care.
Sure, go for it.
Makes you happy, go cray. But like, don't actually think that your character's married to that character.
Yeah, just so don't like step out of reality.
I knew you were gonna say Anthony. I'm sorry, Anthony is bae.
The fire husband.
Garnet dresses in the Garnet from the Garnet from Steven Universe.
Yeah.
it wouldn't look like the exact thing of Garnet's dress, obviously.
Different, obviously. It's just that was the vague idea of what Angel would wear.
It would be a dress suit because Angel, especially when she's older. Can you show the older bust you did recently? Like,
I can.
Are you okay
I don't
showing
have it. Hang on, I don't have it with me. Wait, I gotta go
I have it. Here, I have it. I can send it back to you. Hold on.
I can show that. It's fine because the thing is with Angel too is that she doesn't care gender. She's like fuck gender roles. I mean,
technically. There's a reason for it. We just can't say why. There wasn't originally.
Created now as a joke, but because jokes. But yeah. Anyway.
And the rule is you can't make jokes in Crackland.
Yeah, because then they become canon. But yeah, so but her thing is though too is that at the same time it doesn't mean that she's like totally all I want to do is do guy stuff. She's also at the same time she has her feminine side. So I almost imagine for her wedding, I feel like she wouldn't want to wear a tux. Especially since she's getting married to a guy, but she'd also not want to wear a wedding dress to, you couldn't put her in a wedding dress to save her life. So I'm I feel like Angel would just be in character, I want to wear both. So, she'd just wear a fusion of both.
Terrible.
What?
I was trying to think of a word for a dress suit fusion, and all I could think of is a suit, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Question: what's your favorite ship?
Just everything,
Still, Siren and Kai are the cutest one, I think.
I know, I love
Tybalt and Noelle started it all, but
yeah. Well, they've had their time.
They had a long time.
Oh, yes.
Now, freaking... not everyone needs a relationship in Crackland. Shit, how many people need to fuck before we can have the next generation?
Oh, God. I mean, it's... When you have a lot of characters, it's almost impossible to not imagine some of them would get together.
How about questions at funerals in Crackland? Well, I mean... Technically, we haven't really done funerals yet.
Characters have died a few.
Their families did funerals, but we didn't do.
Well, especially it's hard whenever, because there's a thing. I think we need to also address the fact that we can't, we can't roleplay stuff that only involves our own characters, because how does the other person interact with that? So, for example, I had a character who died. When I'm in my own mind, I'm I feel like the only people that would be there for any kind of funeral for her would all be my characters.
Exactly. Then, which it would be.
Yeah, and then for the other one that died, I'm sure the majority of people would have been there for that would be majority Michie's characters. I have one, but what would he do?
That's what I was thinking. I feel out of respect, gone to the one that, but. I think there wasn't really anything left, so
yeah,
it's kind of hard to have a funeral.
Also, I won't lie, but what can we roleplay at a funeral too? Other than just going through the motions.
A lot of terrible stuff happens, but I don't think we're gonna have someone crash a funeral anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't think I morally would just want that to happen. So,
we've had characters mourn, Kai mourn for a long ass time,
for a year, until Gabe broke the laws of what is possible. So,
Dimitri helped, so did Cassie.
Yes.
Nice.
My favorite ship is Gabe in the world.
Oh, God. Gabe and Dimitri, though, are a really cute one.
They are. I love them so much. I know they have dependency issues, but listen, nobody is perfect.
I feel really bad, but I feel after the Avatar knockoff play that we did, I feel they would kind of have well, we don't, because I had this idea running in my mind where it'd be we don't have issues, and so they would try to do things apart. But it's one of these things we'd roleplay, but I pictured something that would happen. Yeah. Where Dimitri's out somewhere and it's just oh, Gabe would like that, and or I wish Gabe was here. He's God damn it. I feel Gabe would do the same thing. They'd go out, so it's
see, I feel I feel like almost Gabe, just because all of his magic is so bizarre and, like, just works without him thinking about it. So I almost feel like anytime Dimitri would, like, verbally say, I wish Gabe was here, or he'd say, I wish Dimitri was here, they just end up poofing to each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Gabe would just do that without realizing it. So it's like, they're trying to be apart, but it's not working. And I can't wait for Demetriel. I'm so excited.
No.
She's gonna be so cute.
I don't think of when she's gonna show up though.
Oh, it'll be. Unfortunately, it's like the one thing we're gonna have to wait for a while. Probably.
We definitely have to wait for that one.
Yeah, but it'll happen, and I'm excited. Who's our favorite crack kid you've made so far? Oh God.
I can't pick one.
I know, I can't either. I love so many of them for so many different reasons.
I know I'm really excited for when Iris is going to be born, because then we can do more circus shenanigans.
I can't wait for the twins to just be. I fucking love the twins.
I
can't wait for them to be old enough to actually do things.
Here's what I was thinking. So fuck. Okay, I need to type this out to tell you because I know this is a spoiler and I can't say it. So,
but yeah, I love the twins. Yes.
Oh, how I pictured it was it wouldn't be like that. So it would be like, oh, let's be cute. Let's try to have them like blow the candles off of their cake, you know, because like you see parents do that. And so I just pictured they would like do that, and then just catch on fire, and the other part would just freeze, and Angel and Matthias will just kind of stare there, and like you can just see the like dot dot dot.
The twins just start laughing,
and it's like. But they're not supposed to awaken until they're like...
And I'm like, oh, this happened to Gabe.
This is what... Oh.
Shit.
And then Cassandra's there, and she's just there. And she's like, oh. Very, very powerful. Thank you. And they're like, who the hell are you? And then she's just gone, and so are their kids, and they're just like...
That's right, because they haven't met Cassandra at all.
Excuse me?
Or she just comes to say hi, because it's like, oh, you two are powerful mage children, and then she's just gone. It's like, but what?
I feel like she would flat out just kidnap the kids, and here's why. Because she knows the other world's really, really dangerous, so I feel like she would just be like, oh, okay. And just fucking take them.
Oh, God. See, you know, oh, shit. Now I have a story. Okay, I gotta type it out because it's also fucking, because I can't spoil shit. Anyway, okay, well here, I can say this part out loud. But since, like, Cass admitted that when she does that, she'll, like, wipe parents' memories.
I was thinking about that. I
feel like since a certain someone has a certain power where they can just be shown things that have already happened when they are in a certain areas. So I feel like a certain someone would suddenly remember, oh my God, we had kids. And like...
That's what I was thinking. And I feel... no, I was thinking that would happen or Morgan would know.
That's also true. Because that's
also
true because she might not be able to wipe his memory.
That's what I was thinking. So I feel like he would wake up or something. Where's Apollo and Artemis? And they're just both like, who?
And then someone steps in a ray of light, and she's like, God damn it! Like,
she's just like
that bitch.
Yeah, it's like, this is what my parents were going through.
This is how it felt.
Yeah, it's just like, what's happening?
And then she just like storm off like, someone's getting my kids back, or I'm gonna fight. And I almost feel like in a weird way, if Angel and Matt showed enough conviction to want to get their kids back, she'd be like, fine. Like,
I feel like it'd be one of those, I guess you care. Okay. Like,
well, obviously I can't wipe your memories, so I'm not just gonna take your kids, so I guess. And then in that time,
But you, yeah,
and
but
fucking,
you
I'm
do
sure
know.
Apollo and artists would be like, I like this lady. Like,
No, they have to. They like older people. That's like the thing. They're only well behaved around older people.
someone just said, I can imagine Gabe showing up at his parents' house one time and just apologizing for being such a difficult child after having to raise Demetriel. That's exactly what happens.
Yeah, pretty
Or
much.
what's going to happen.
Because Demetriel has her first scram, and then they both kind of have a moment where they're like, "Oh my god, this is what we did to them."
For context, Gabe and Dimitri, when they were growing up, their whole thing was that they didn't cry, they just scream, and it's like for no reason. And it's funny because I feel like because Demetra would technically have a reason because her thing is that from when she's born, her quirk has been she can understand what everybody is saying, no matter what language they are speaking or anything like that.
But she can't talk.
Yeah, and like even as a baby though too, which I said logically that's why she's actually mute, but she can still make noises, is because she's always understood everything, so she can't learn a language because it always makes sense. How do you learn something that already makes sense to you?
It counts for sign language too. Like she just knows.
So like she could kind of learn how to write or like sign a little bit, but it'd be probably very basic stuff, and there'd probably be a lot of gibberish sometimes. Because it would be combined. She's a baby. She's basically learned everything in baby speak. So like,
or I think it would be funny if she does try to write something out, and it's just like English, Spanish, Italian. Yeah, like it's like every language, and they're just like
trying really hard, but it's not working. So the
thing is, she would get it, and she's like, they're just like,
because how can you correct someone who like, you know, because that's just how it logically works out in my mind. Which just makes her cute, but so her thing as a baby is that she understands what her parents are saying at all times. They don't know she understands, but she does. Which is also like we said, she could not stand kid shows because they drive her insane because they're like
if they put on like a Dora where it's like, where's the possum? She'd be like,
her baby mind would be like, it's over there. Like, what art is this?
Didn't we say they would watch some like crime drama or something, and she'd be like totally invested in it?
Yeah, and she'd be like super into it. They're just like, ah, she likes the colors. And she's just really invested because I can't wait for Demetriel.
Well, thank you, Animation Creation. Thank you very much. You're very nice.
Yay.
Any advice on writing powerful characters, demons, angels, without making them ridiculously overpowered?
Oh, dear.
You do that for a minute. I'm going to mute for it real quick.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm trying to go off because obviously we've done that. We've done this in Crackland like so many. We've done this twice now because we now have two very, very powerful characters. I guess it would, for one thing, it would depend on what role of the story they have. Like, for example, like, just to use like angels as an example. You know, if like the angel is a character that's supposed to be, they appear and they give advice in some way, they can be very powerful. But if they're a character that like you want them to be like a more important, more relevant character, and you want to make sure they're not a MacGuffin, then my advice would be to just try and make sure like what they do is realistic, and you just try and make sure their personality makes sense with what they have. And I will say this, like one thing we've all had, like this is a big thing we do with Gabriel, because he's very powerful, but at the same time he's a human. That's like, he's a human with magic powers. So like Gabe's whole thing is that he can do anything, especially now because he now has the mind of he's now thinks his age. So his whole thing has always been that like nowadays is the fact that his magic is really powerful, but it works when he just does it and he doesn't think about it. And that's really hard for like some of us to do. That's why when he had the mind of a 5-year-old, he did all sorts of crazy shit, because to him, he's a 5-year-old and he's just like, well, I want this to happen, so it's gonna happen. So then it does, you know? So you need to make sure, and obviously if you have a powerful character, I would say too, is make sure the characters around them don't get kind of overshadowed by that power. Like, either, I'm not saying you have to make a bunch of characters that are equally as powerful, but I'm just saying make sure that, like, in their own ways, they kind of stand out with that and have their, like, distinctive personalities and things. So I hope that helps a little bit. I hope. Okay, I need to dig more into this Crackland thing. I will say this: in December, y'all might probably have, because I'm working on a special little thing for December, because that's when Crackland started, and I'm a weirdo, so I'm like, let's do an anniversary thing. So I'm drawing technically all of Gen 2, all of them in busts, because I couldn't do full bodies, I'd die. But yeah, like how quirks in My Hero Academia have limits, yeah. But yeah, so I'm doing a little thing. So I decided for those busts, when I post them on DeviantArt, I'm going to post them either singly, individually, or in groups. And I'm going to use those to actually put any information I can say about them there. So, like, for anyone and I'll update them with stuff. So anyone who actually, like, enjoys hearing about a role player, wants to learn about it, that'll be the place where you can go look at shit and see who's related to who and whatever. Deus Ex Machina. Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm sorry. But yeah, I mean Deus Ex Machina. But yeah. So, yeah, that'll be a thing eventually. So, yeah, 2 streams in one day. Aren't we spoiled? Yes. That Jackbox stream was fun. I'll have to do that again. Yeah, so that'll be fun whenever I do those, and those will probably be posted throughout December once I'm done with them. And there'll probably be a speed paint of all of them together. Yay! So that should be fun. Not with the sketching, because I kind of effed it up and I can't record the sketching phase now, so whoops. Oh, I got hungry. I'm gonna have to get a snack after this. If you had to incorporate a vine into your stories, what vines would you use? I mean, I don't know a whole lot of vines. Like, one of the only ones I know is, what's that? A knife? No! Like, you know. So, I don't know a whole lot of vines, so. Top 5 movies. Shit. Oh, God. But there's so many movies. I know, one at the top of my list is Fantastic Mr. Fox. I fucking love that movie. I can watch that movie 18 times in a row and still be entertained. Shoot. There's a lot of movies I like. What are your favorite cartoon villains? Like, if you mean exclusively cartoons, I don't really know. If you mean just cartoony, like, villains in general, I'd say probably, like, pretty much all Disney villains. I love Disney villains a lot. Yeah. Not a question, but people would totally pay for their characters you put in Crackland, even as, like, parents, and then you just RP with the crack kids so you can behave however. I'm not sure entirely understand that. Question, Zodiac, why are you amazing? I don't understand. And also, I don't know why or how, but every single artist I know says their art is okay or something worse. Well, that's just... Yeah, that's just kind of how... I mean, the thing is, and especially nowadays, I won't lie, we do live in a world that kind of makes any sort of, like, being proud of anything you do seem like ego and egotistical. So, you know, but... I will say it like this for anyone who might not understand why people do that. It's because, I mean, how would you feel if somebody said, yeah, my art is amazing, you know, whether it is or not? Like, it doesn't sound very nice, you know? But, and I mean, it's just realistically, like, and plus there's the thing with art too, is realistically there's always someone better than you, so. Question, what's your favorite TV show at the moment? I mean, I don't really watch TV. I've just been watching, like, Whose Line Is It Anyway and stuff like that. And, oh, well, Survivor. Survivor's always going to be my favorite TV show, probably. I watched that with my mom. I can't find my favorite, but I think it's Dr. Doofenshmirtz. Yeah, you know what? Dr. Doofenshmirtz, that's my guy. Question, how do you keep a story interesting? Well, I would say just make sure you're always... Hi, you can help me with this question.
Okay, sorry, I just really had to go.
No, it's fine. I'm really hungry, so I'm probably gonna snack in a minute. But
I mean, do you want to end the stream or do you want to keep going?
No, I'm fine. We can keep going.
Okay.
I just might get a snack in a minute. But somebody asked, how do you keep a story interesting? Hello.
I'm thinking.
Oh, yeah, I know that's a hard one.
Well, I feel like we've been able to keep it going so long. We've only been able to keep it going so long because of the kids.
Yeah, I mean, honestly.
About it, when you think about it, a lot of the adults, their stuff kind of got wrapped up. I'm not saying stuff can't happen. Oh yeah, and they can't. They can be like recently. One of them got dragged back into things because she had the problem solving thing.
Mm-hmm. So, but I mean, it is true. Well, because like I will say that definitely. But I think if we're talking more short term, then I mean I don't know because it just depends on what kind of story you're writing.
Here is one thing too. You're right on that. You don't need a magnum opus. You don't need a vast world building, multi-level story to have a good story.
Yeah, our roleplay, like realistically as a story, there'd probably be a lot of people who'd be like, yeah, this is too long. So.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, and so our roleplay is.
And it'd be too long. There would be way too many points of view.
Yeah, it'd be. There's a lot of well, I mean, honestly, if it was a story, we'd need to actually go more into things that'd be boring. So like,
I feel like if we ever did anything, it would be a comic.
Oh, definitely.
Because comics have arcs. Yeah. So it'd be like, oh, here's the world jumping. Well, I'm wrong. Here's the kidnapping arc. Here's the world jumping arc. Here's the meeting the important people.
Yeah, and I mean, I would say I feel like with the way we've been doing it, we don't necessarily have too many points of view. If we'd made a story, we just have to make sure we focus on who's like the main character of those points of view.
And I think another thing that's been helping too is we've been jumping around a lot of characters a lot because in the past there was a lot of stuff that we wanted to do that we were doing math and we're like, shit, technically during this time this would have been happening.
Yeah. And like,
you know, so we've been doing a lot of we've been doing a lot of
just have a lot of things that are going on. So like, you know. But
that's what I'm saying. So we've had a lot of meanwhiles somewhere else.
There's also the reality that if we were to make it a comic, there's a lot of stuff we'd have to add in because it would have been stuff that would have totally happened or should happen, but we couldn't do it because it was just with one of our two characters and not with the other person. Like I know I had a thing where it was like one of my characters and their mentor could reunite and have a chat, and we're like, we need to do that, but there's like, how do you make that personal when they're both my characters?
Exactly.
So like, you know,
times where it's like, I can take over a character for a minute if you want kind of situations, but it's for like a minute. It's not really for a long.
Yeah.
Question, what's your favorite indie game? Undertale. I got married to his theme. Undertale.
I am unsure because I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not entirely sure what is an indie game as opposed to what isn't. So like,
okay, so an indie game is made by an individual developer over like a company. So like,
see, Sims, my ass wouldn't know. My ass wouldn't really know.
Okay, so like Sims, not an indie game.
Well, yeah, no, I got that. I just like some with a lot of games I know that I don't know for sure. I guess just from what I know, I'd say just Five Nights at Freddy's as a series because I like that series personally. I know a lot of people don't, but I do.
We bonded because I love that series too.
Yay! Yeah, I understand why there are people who don't like it. I may not agree with all of their criticisms, and I think some of them are very subjective, but I also am fine with people not liking it, but I personally really like it.
I mean, there's people who also want to have sex with the animatronics. There's
a little, I'm good. Yeah, like
it's like there's certain things where you're just like, I have questions, but I don't want answers.
This is why I like something and I just kind of ignore the fandom about it.
Yeah. Because besides popular belief,
no matter what happens, if it gets popular, people want to have sex with it.
Exactly. Have you seen or played Deltarune? I have played Deltarune. I like it.
I have not, but I never played Undertale necessarily. So anyway,
I mean, it's fine. A lot of people I know haven't played it.
No, I know. I almost watched Markiplier's entire playthrough of it, which was fun.
Oh my god, this is great.
Well, Markiplier did he finish Undertale? I don't think he finished it.
No, I think he did in a different way with someone. There was a point where he started it, but he didn't finish. Like he didn't continue, and people were like, "When are you going to continue it?" And then like way later, he did a bunch of streams with his friend, and I think that's when. Yeah, which I didn't watch that to the end yet, but it was entertaining though. I should. He did it with Tyler. That's who he did it with.
He did finish Undertale, you're right. Okay.
Yeah. Which that was funny. I love the fucking, I don't remember what it was, but you're like walking past the water area and there's like some whale, fish, whatever that's like, "Hi, how you doing?"
Oh, Onion San, yeah.
And then like at whatever point you tell them like they ask you something and you say no, and they just with the smile on their face slowly sink back into the water. Yeah! And that fucking killed me.
Let's see. What was it? Starts losing pace or gets boring during parts. How should you keep it from like not being boring? Is it important? Because if it's not important, just cut it out.
Yeah, that's honestly.
A lot of people don't realize you can cut stuff out if it's not. A good example, like a lot of things that are pretty funny, is a lot of people bring up like, why is it in books and movies you never see people like eat or take a shit? And I'm like, because
what are you gonna get from that? It's pointless.
Again, if like you go to the bathroom and you fall and something like you see like a hidden compartment in the bathroom, boom, there you go. There's a reason why you're in the bathroom. But that's like that is
honestly, if you're gonna like, I know some people make that sort of thing. It's like that. I've seen people who try to argue that, like, see, it implies that they don't do that. And I'm like, well, then that's your own fault if you assume not everybody does that. Like, you shouldn't need to be told that this person takes a shit once in a while in order to know that they probably go to the bathroom every now and again.
So again, if it's important, bring it up. Like, we've done a lot of times, we've done a lot of role plays where a lot of characters are eating dinner, but they're talking. Like, they're just eating dinner.
They talk what they normally do. I don't think anytime we, like, start role-playing at dinner, something's gonna go wrong. Like,
something always, it's like, we never just there's never a role play of a dinner, like, unless there's a reason.
Yeah, see, this person put it perfectly. Yeah, I totally want to see Goku take a shit in the middle of the Universal Tournament.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that's just it. So like there's a lot of fluffy stuff. And like I'm like, there's nothing wrong with time skips either. Like a lot of people are like, oh, look at this time. Now, if there's a drastic time skip, you have to explain why it is a drastic time skip. Because my story has a couple.
Yeah.
Where they're not too drastic, but like there is one where there's about a 5-year gap, 10-year gap after that. And that's only because, well, yes, important stuff happens. It's so prolonged and very small because I can say this without going away. They're in the middle of a war that's been going on for literally centuries. It's not going to end in a day.
Yeah.
So they're like working on. So there's again. Do people really want to read? Like we tried doing that. We tried doing a war room scene, and I felt bad because I was like, yeah, I don't really know what Nios would do besides
because Nios was he's here to learn. He's not here to contribute to the conversation.
Exactly. Now, when things happen,
Shios would not be that dumb to like interject with a sassy comment in the middle of
exactly, because they would know things, you know, and like there is a war room scene that's going to happen when a certain relative of him has to kind of take a role there. But other than that, it's like it's not really. So why would it? Again, it's happening.
Yeah.
But like a lot of it's also like when the trio would go on missions. Why would Morgan roleplay any of that?
I know.
Because it's the trio, unless like their partner or partners or something had to go like, you know, rescue them.
Anyway.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's gonna be a while. But my first one will be out next year. Takes and turns not marked. I need to specify that. Sorry. Either of you played Bloodborne or Dark Souls?
No.
No, but Bloodborne is my aesthetic, but I still not have played it yet. A question. I have a part where I can't decide if I want to time skip after a character returns evil or show the entire thing. Well, if the character returns evil and it's a plot twist, don't do a time skip because it's a plot twist. Gradual, this character becomes evil, then show it. If that's the point of the story. That's kind of a vague thing. Zodiac question. Would you ever make Crackland vines? Like Crackland vines.
Or they say, would you make Crackland as vines? As in, like, would I compare, like, this character would be like this vine?
Or would it be like you do like mini little vignettes of side stories that could be like in a panel or something? A one-off comic page that would be like something stupid.
Maybe? I don't know. I mean, it's
hard. That question's kind of weird. I don't know how to really answer.
Well, because they're talking about vines as in like Vine when it was still a thing.
Oh, I know that, but
so like I think they were saying like, would you do something where it's like, you know, like
it was gluttony being like, I don't have enough for chicken nugget.
Yeah, like that shit. Like it would be like the twins. And it's just like, what do you have there? A knife! No!
That would be them.
That's my favorite. Anyway.
Yeah, how do you feel about broken characters who are broken for no reason, i.e. a killer who just kills for fun? Now, if they're the main character, what's the point? But if they're like, there's a character in a story that is just a nut job and just kills for fun, okay, as long as there's a high broken pixels.
Yeah. That is interesting.
If the main character is just like, lol, random, crazy, blah, blah, then there's no reason for it, then it's kind of to be a reason. I think a good example is, if anybody's ever seen Dexter, it's a serial killer that goes after other serial killers, and you don't know why right away, but like where he'll be talking to himself in like monologues in his head, where, you know, he says stuff like, oh, I can't be single because at my age range I'll be profiled as a serial killer even though I go after other serial killers, and you know, so he's like starts dating someone to like look normal kind of thing. But then you also find out he's a serial killer for a reason, and almost all serial killers do have a trigger or an event, which in real life is a thing. There actually are very, very rare notions of people who are just like, lol, random, gonna go stabby McStab stab.
I just won't feel like stabbing people today.
Oh gosh darn it.
Yeah.
Perfect example. I consider Magpie a serial killer.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
She's also she also could be like justified technically under a cult leader in Crackland. But on that same note, I'm sure Cassandra's killed people.
Oh yes, definitely. I'm sure.
Very obviously.
I'm sure, especially in her past, she has. Like,
oh yeah.
I'm sure that was something that happened during her anger phase of grief.
Mm-hmm. You know the Black Plague? That was me. Sorry, humans, you kind of need a colon right now.
Oh, hey, I'll type this out because I don't know if I don't. Oh, I guess.
We'll type it. It's okay.
Let's just say I'm sure she probably, because the whole point of my history's people is the fact that they want to trap the horsemen or whatever. So I'm sure she went against that and might have killed one. I'm sure she would have done that.
Well, I had a feeling that she killed the plague.
Probably. And they're just
like
Cassandra, we needed that. Like, we can't
just like
trap them if they're dead. Like,
and then it's like, okay, I'm gonna kill 3 more, and then you can trap them. Wait, what? No, that's not what we said. It's just shush.
It's like, nope, I'm gonna do it. You can't stop me. Like, you can try, but you can't.
I feel like that would be a creepy moment where she's like, oh, but I am gonna do it. And like, what do you mean? It's like, oh no, I know. And they're just like, what do you mean? It's gonna happen. Me. I feel like that would be her first, like, kind of creepy moment, like her intimidating.
Yeah.
Else to live for it. That's
Cassandra.
I know, I love her too. It's called a stressor. Yes, you are very right. That is the word. Thank you for helping me because I didn't remember it. Hello. But yeah, no. Fuck. Okay, I have to figure out how this is going to happen then, because I did have an idea for an event happening soon that would make sense in the sense of Crackland.
Oh shit.
Kind of got shot down.
Oh,
I mean, it makes sense.
Michelle,
But yeah,
the carpet.
I don't like that carpet.
Oh god, it's horrible.
How did that carpet last in the freaking nukes going off?
There's a million robots taking.
Hi, it's Uggo! That's creepy.
That was a good idea.
The paintings are fine too, sorry. But I was thinking of, like, having this thing where there was gonna be some stuff happening.
Oh no.
And I was gonna ask permission if I could control Franny for a little minute.
Oh no.
And some stuff would happen, and I feel like, because, I mean, literally no one in the chat's gonna know what I'm talking about, and I kind of feel bad about that.
Oh,
but I was like, I can picture, because we have Magpie and Sebi figuring out their new little thing, so I feel like she would kind of have a moment where, not a Grindelwald moment where, like, there's like a talking scene, but I feel like something would happen because of Eustet, and a lot of people would be very angry, very scared, very upset, and that's when Magpie would come out and be like the hero. And I already had a speech in mind of what she would say, and I'm like, oh fuck, this would make so much sense, and people would totally get behind it, and it would look very bad.
Oh man. Shakes.
But I have to figure out how I can get Eustet to break her deal with Gabe now. I have to, like, try to figure a way around that, because I was like, shit, my one thing was so perfect, and then it's like, okay, it can't happen now.
It's like, I know,
so
it's all about that wording. That's how she got tricked in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I somehow figured out how Gabe could trick her.
Right? It's so hard, but I have to try to think of a way.
I know.
I have one, but I feel like that's too mean.
Oh no.
I feel like, because she is obviously very pissed at this point. She's been pissed for a while.
Yeah, definitely.
I picture she would, like, this family.
I didn't hear you cut out for a second.
Shit, I was like, she would start to mess with his family.
You mean, as in anyone?
Like, not hurt them.
Yeah.
But I also feel like, no, that's so mean.
What?
Oh, I figured it out. Okay.
Oh no, what?
Oh, don't worry, it's gonna happen soon.
Oh God, why do you gotta do this to me?
Cody, Armani wants to know, are you enjoying Fallout 76?
I get to play Fallout again, and it's new and fresh, and I get to explore. It's not like other Fallout, so I'm kind of steering away from grading it like one.
Mm-hmm.
fun to play still. I mean, there's some glitches, but they've gotten better. It's not like world breaking or anything like that. Playing with friends is nice. Like all large online role-playing games, it needs a better story. But I kind of got the gist of what they're going for on it. So yeah, I like it.
Okay, I hope you guys heard that. Hopefully. Yeah. So the only question is, do you want to suffer now, Morgan, or do you want to suffer a little later?
I don't know, because you won't tell me what it is. So I don't know how much suffer it is.
Should I tell you? Because it's gonna be one of those things where when she's free, she's kind of gonna go ham because she's pissed. So she's gonna. Sure. Okay. You know how we talked about how Kai has an accident?
Yes.
I was like, oh, she can cause the accident because by technicality, didn't hurt anybody. The falling beam did, or whatever it is. I don't know how her thing's gonna happen yet for the accident. But I was like, oh no, she's on this tour. And I can see it happening now, where it's like her when she returns back, and so everyone's all happy because she's back, and then Houston's just like, "Hi, motherfucker, I'm back."
Oh no. Well, the only question would be just that, because I mean, obviously she can get around it if for some reason someone makes Gabe think that someone's not his family. Yeah. But see, I don't know in what way, because Gabe's not a violent person, and at this point too, he's smart enough not to try and mess with Ustet because he knows that's the rule. So I don't know if there's a way to get him to do that where he actually messes with her. So I feel I almost feel like it would just have to be mean, and that somebody would have to convince him that no, not everyone's your family. So either a giant chunk of people or everybody is now or almost everyone's free game.
Yeah. And that's when she would go ham.
Oh yeah.
I feel like, or she would try to bait him because she would kind of like what happened with Nyos, where she just kind of like, okay, I'm just gonna stop being pleasantries and I'm just gonna tell you what's gonna happen if this doesn't work out.
Yeah.
I feel like that's gonna happen. Kai's gonna have her accident.
Shit. We almost had Mordecai and Axis and them do that because
no.
They almost did it, and it was just because, Dimitri and Gabe yelled at them enough to make them stop talking. So, I mean, it's totally possible someone could convince him otherwise. It happened with Dawn.
It did happen with Dawn, and she was waiting. She waited for that goddamn yoink. She was like, okay, yoink.
I mean, well, you know what? Shit. For no pun intended, it just dawned on me there was never a moment where Gabe, declared that Dawn was his family again.
There you go. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
no. I'm so sorry, chat. We're not talking about stuff that doesn't make any sense.
Oh, no, that works out so much better for what I actually want to do. Never mind. Okay, so we're going to have her really fuck with Gabe, and now I feel like an asshole, but it's going to work.
Oh, no.
I'm good.
Oh, no.
If Gabe and Dawn both got yoinked by the evil lady, what would actually happen if they forgot they got yoinked away? Well, touch Gabe.
Yeah.
Physically, she can't touch him.
Gabe's kind of the one who's kind of made it so that she can't hurt anyone, so, you know.
And here's the thing. It's not that... See, she's very vindictive, so she wouldn't have gone after his family anyway, but he kind of, fucked her, and it was like, oh, okay, you can't have anybody in this world. And so she's like, oh.
Which is funny, because technically it was a 5-year-old who, used her own words against her.
Yeah, it was a 5-year-old that bested her, and that's why she's like... See, now I'm just angry. I'm gonna go ham.
Oh, no.
She's gonna be she's like, oh.
So, the only thing we just have to make sure that happens is that someone doesn't die.
Yeah, no one's gonna die.
Oh, no.
Get really, really, really hurt.
Oh, no.
But no one's. I don't have anyone dying in mind.
I will say this, though. Would Yustet know not to go after a mage?
Probably, yeah.
Well...
Technicality.
Was like, because I just almost imagine, because now Cassandra exists, obviously, but now I would say that, like, realistically, she's paying attention now. Yeah. So, like, if, like, Yustet tried to do anything to a mage, she'd be like, no, like, that's just not gonna happen. But I mean, that's not to say we don't have plenty of not mage characters she can go after.
I mean, okay. She couldn't hurt any of my... She would... enough not to touch one of your world's mages or the kids, but... because of what she is and the fact that she's a mirror demon... she can technically fuck with the souls of my mages.
Yeah.
So that would be one of those where, like, Cassandra would be like, I can't touch that. She wouldn't be happy, but I feel like one of those, like, okay, I can't.
It's like, this is not something I'm an expert in yet.
And I feel like it's one of those, like, and I'm not happy. Oh, but I do. Oh no.
What?
No.
What? Don't just... should we just end the stream? Because now we're just talking about stuff that nobody...
You want to? Because, yeah, I keep
might as well. Just because... So, thank you guys for coming. I'm sorry it's gone into...
Sorry about that, guys. Yes, we loved you guys. We love you.
Now we can talk about spoilers to each other. Yeah, bye. Thank you for coming.